up, guys, and welcome back to the Tim's Sports Talk. Skins in the game. We're back after a week off. J-Dubs is in the house to my left. I'm Tim. How you doing today, J-Dubs?
I'm doing good. Hey, it was a great time. You guys came down and visited us in paradise. So
it actually really it is very, very nice where they live, right on the golf course. They have my favorite thing to do these days, pickleball. We did it twice. Jade, I think you had fun doing it, right?
Oh, absolutely. I have a ball. Great.
It was good. I love it.
Great place.
Pickleball is definitely just my favorite. But it's, 15 minutes away, 20 minutes away, if traffic, to the beach. We ate lunch right there on Funky Pelican. We actually went back there with Kelly and them, and I got just 3 orders of that bacon wrap shrimp. I didn't even order anything else. I just got 3 orders of it. It's so good.
By the way, for the audience, he ordered one order, and like 30 seconds I looked over and he was like, "Oh, that's good." And he wrapped it up.
Yeah. And I think we ordered one more, and then I had some mac and cheese with seafood in it. Delicious. So yeah, it was really good food. We saw Polynesian dancers, the fire dancers.
Yep.
The show was cool, and it was a cool experience, and the MC was great. He was really funny. We had fun with the drinks, though, didn't we?
Not good.
It took like 20-25 minutes of standing in line at the bar, and it wasn't a long line. There was, 4 people in front of us, maybe?
Oh, not even 4.
Yeah, it was bad. And then we got them, and they just, filled it with, some sort of syrup on every mixed drink that it was so sweet. I had to chase a strawberry daiquiri with a Sprite. It was that bad and that disgusting.
Oh, and they were like $13 a drink. It was like...
Yeah. Brutal. What up, Yuki? What up, Just Know? What up, Lee? What up, Santiago? Tim's looking like a whole different person. Yeah, I definitely got some sun, I'm sure. You can see a little tan line by my hair.
We spent a lot of time in the pool in the backyard.
Yeah.
Tim liked that.
It was fun. We went to Florida, not Hawaii. Florida, we did. Thoughts on Rivera comparing Howell to Purdy? We will get into that for sure. He did mention that in his interview, so that'd be fun. Tim got replaced like he's James Harden. What?
I don't even know where to go with that, but it made me laugh.
There you go. But anyway, all right. Well, we will start the show like we do every show with the dad joke of the week.
Why can't you hear a pterodactyl go to the bathroom?
Because the P is silent.
Got
it. All right, there you go. Great joke to start the. I should just, even if I know the answer, I treat them like riddles. They're supposed to be dad jokes. I should just ask, why don't you hear it? And that come up with the delivery.
What do you call an angry carrot?
What do you call an angry carrot?
A steamed vegetable.
The steamed vegetable. There you go. All right. Well, we're going to start with the bracket challenge that we put out there for the channel. And it's actually a heated race, and it comes down to 2 brackets left. And the bracket we made on the channel is one of them, even though we have nobody in the Final Four. Actually, you know what? I think we had UConn making it to the Final Four, but we don't have them going any farther. So we don't have our champion left, but we did have one guy. But we have lost. Now, there is 4 brackets above us, but I already said beforehand, only 1 bracket a person. These people made 16 brackets. I messed up. I should have had it where you could only make 1 bracket, but I didn't. So here's the JW and Tim bracket. We currently do not have a champion. Did we have UConn make? Yeah, we had UConn in it. Kansas State, if they would have won it. And then Alabama lost. So we had 3 out of our Final 4 in the Elite 8, but 2 of them lost. And Xavier made it to the Sweet 16. So our bracket was decent, but the only one that can catch us now is Quick Nath's, I think. You know what? I wonder if this is Nathan Perry from Ref the District. It might actually be his bracket, but currently he has UConn winning the whole thing. So but all he needs is UConn to beat Miami, and he will take home the annual Tim Sports Talk Bracket Challenge. There's some cool things going on with this tournament. This is the first time in history that a 3 seed or better did not make the Final Four. I believe this is only the 5th time that a number 1 seed has not made it to the Final Four. And the last time a number 1 seed did not make it to the Final Four, UConn won the whole thing in 2011, I believe it was. So UConn is back in it with no number 1 seed.
And do we agree
Yes.
that Villanova was the lowest seed to win it all?
Was that the one that was the 8 seed way back in the day that you said? It was
Raleigh
like
Massimino, yeah, it was Villanova.
Yes.
I think he beat Georgetown with Patrick Ewing, and I think that was the lowest seed ever to win the tournament. I thought you looked it up and confirmed that, but maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah. No, you did. We did look it up, and it was. Yeah, that sounds... Whatever you told me at that time when I looked it up, you were correct. And so I don't need to look it up. It was good. So if Tim and JW wins, are they... No, you had to beat us to get the money. That was a part of the thing in the initial post. You had to beat us to get the money. So Quick Nates is the only one that can get money here. So it wasn't a money to... Nobody had to pay to get in. So if you don't beat me, I'm not paying you guys. Okay? But if you beat me, I have no problem. And you win the challenge, I have no problem sending the money like I did last year.
There's not a whole lot you have to do to beat us right now, so it's still on the blocks.
But anyway, and so yes, but with that record that you just talked about, FAU could become the first one to upset that record. A team outside the top half of the tournament, outside the top 32, could earn that title if FAU upsets San Diego State and takes on the winner of Miami versus UConn. This is a crazy tournament. Crazy tournament. San Diego State upset Alabama in the Elite Eight. It was in the Sweet 16. And then they had to beat Creighton in the Elite Eight, that was a wild finish. Came down to the wire. And San Diego State got fouled on the final shot of the game and had 2 free throws. And Creighton ended up losing. It was a tie game besides that. They ended up losing by 1. FAU was in a tight one with Kansas State. Kansas State didn't even get a shot off, down by 3. That was frustrating because I wanted Kansas State to win, clearly, because we picked this in our bracket. But I was excited also to see Florida Atlantic. That's a fun team to make it through, to see if the Cinderella story, I think, is fun. But FAU upsets them, and they won by 3. I think it was 73-70. Miami played Texas. That one, Miami just ran away with it at the end. I think it was 79-79, and they went on like an 8-1 run at the end and ended up winning about by 7 in the last 2 minutes. So Miami just ran away with it. Their coach has been fun. He's an older guy, very energetic, and exciting to see him in the Final Four. And then UConn, in my opinion, is a bit underrated. They beat, I think it was Gonzaga early on in the season. No, they beat Alabama earlier on in the season. They did have a bit of a rough stretch in conference play in the middle, but they are a really, really talented team, and they currently sit as the betting favorite in the Final Four.
Didn't they win every game in the tournament by at least 15?
Yes, they've won every game so far by 15 points or more, including destroying Gonzaga in the tournament, and then they just won this last game pretty handedly. No, that was against Gonzaga to get here. That was in the Elite Eight, because Gonzaga beat UCLA with that crazy comeback. They were down by like 17 at half, fought all the way back and won with a buzzer beater. It's been a great tournament, honestly. A lot of excitement. This is what makes this tournament so exciting to watch. So many buzzer beaters and crazy things going down. Upsets.
By the way, Yuki, I'm already in Florida. If we win, then Tim has to come down again. I like that. But we have to discuss, and the game escapes me right now, but Tim and me got into it about...
Yes, we will come to that. I just want to ask you this before we get into that. Just give me your thoughts on who's going to win this thing. We watched all the Elite Eight games. We sat there and watched them all. And so you have a feel a little bit for each team. Where we go? Is UConn taking this as the highest seed, or are we going to get more upsets? What's your prediction?
I think the best team at this point runs away with it. So I'm going with the UConn.
Yep. I think it's going to be San Diego State and UConn. San Diego State is so athletic. Their defense is so strong. They don't win by a lot. They don't score a whole ton. But Alabama, they just got into their face, made it so tough. I don't see FAU being athletic enough to keep up with them. And then I do agree. I think UConn's the best team left, and they should be higher than a 4 seed, honestly. But it is what it is. All right, so you have UConn winning it all and taking it away, and I don't blame you. I think that's a great choice.
And look, just to be clear, I would love to see an upset at this point. I would love San Diego State, somebody to take it out. But at this point in the tournament, you got to go with experience and a team that's been blowing teams out. I think you got to go with them.
Maybe somebody will punch them in the mouth. But I do like your choice. They're strong. I like it. All right. So to bring up what Dad was talking about, do you want to set it up? Or
well, me and Tim were arguing over what a box out is. And this play, Tim was convinced the guy went over his back. And I said, my position was the guy jumped straight up in the air, reached over the guy. He was way taller than the guy in front of him. And the guy backed up and took his legs out. And Tim was like, he almost took my refrigerator out.
I started boxing out his mini fridge.
Oh, my mini fridge I was like, Tim, what are you doing? He goes, I'm boxing out. But I would love for the folks on the channel to watch this play and tell me whether or not Miami, was it Miami? No, it was Texas. Whether or not this was an over the back foul.
Over the back.
Or was this a good play? Notwithstanding that the
you know what? I'm going to ask, was it a legal box out? Because that's really where I have it. I don't even care. I wouldn't have minded if no whistle was blown. But my argument is that it was a legal block out or box out. Is that a fair question?
Yes.
It wasn't a legal box out. Okay. I'm going to put the poll out there, but here's the play. All right. So we have this guy standing here under the rim, and number 15 is going to come, and they're going to get into a box out. Then he's going to come over here, and I'm going to show the play. I'm not going to lead it anymore. But basically, these are the two players in question. All right. Do you guys hear that? No, because we don't need sound. I'm going to assume muted.
No,
I
don't
think you guys
can't hear any.
All right, so he takes the shot. Here's these two. All right. It ended up being a foul on number 30, fouled out of the game. All right, so I'm going to play it again. You tell me. I'm going to play it in slow-mo. You tell me what you see, and I'll do it again, and I'll tell you what I see. Are you there?
I'm here.
Oh, did you hear what I said, or no?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're going to say what you see.
Oh, you want me to do it first? I was saying you do it first, and then I was going to go. But I'll say what I see. Okay.
Okay.
So
no,
you want to go first or me first?
Or I can go first. That's fine.
Yeah. All right.
All right. So watch the play. Let it roll again.
Yep. I did it in
slow motion. The guy
motion.
boxed him out. So the other guy backs away, jumps over, doesn't make contact until the guy backs into him.
So right here, he's jumping up, and the guy runs into his legs. And goes for that foul on the guy.
He didn't touch him when he jumped up. The guy backed into him.
All right, there you go. So that's what Dad sees.
I will say, the guy had to box out at first, but the other guy backs away from him. He doesn't come over the top of him. Then
I'm not laughing at you. Sorry, Yuki. Do I need to explain the birds and the bees? What are you talking about? He doesn't know what a box out is, I guess. But it's all right. Okay. Do you have anything else to say, or do you want me to go into my description?
No, go ahead.
Okay. So here's what I see. All right, and this is why I disagree with Dad. I see right here a box out.
Yep.
And now they're going to be fighting out for position. And in my opinion, a box out is basic. It's contact. It's not just you stand still and I get into you. You're trying to get through me. I'm going to try to keep you behind me. So
Don't disagree with you at all.
Okay. So he is
watch
in
what
position.
the guy does right there.
Yep, he's in position. They're fighting for position. He's backing into him. There's contact. He does push off a little bit here. They separate, but he's still going for the box out, backing in. This is all legal in my opinion. To box out, the guy jumps up, and then he continues to box out. Yeah, that's fine. I'm not even going to say he jumps into the guy at all, but he's continuing the box out. The guy jumps so high over top of him, leans over top of him now at this point, and reaches for the ball.
No. He did not lean over him. In your eyes.
No. In the beginning, he jumped straight up. That's fine. Right now, he's reaching over top of the guy that's boxing him out. He's reaching for the ball.
Play it again. When he jumped up, where was the guy? When he left the floor, where was the guy? Right there. He leaves straight up in the air, and the guy backs into him.
And then reaches over his back.
So he can't jump up in the air? Because the guy's doing a box out? He leaves.
I don't even care. This is why I say, is this a legal box out? This is my point. I don't care. If they don't call a foul here, I'm fine with that. If they don't even call a foul. But I don't know what the other guy was supposed to do. I feel like this is textbook. You get contact, you're boxing him out, you're leaning into him to create space to let the ball bounce in front of you. You're backing into the guy takes off, and he ends up reaching over your back. And to me, a box out is allowed to continue to back into the guy, I don't have to just stand there and let you try to jump up. Oh, Tim, that's just terrible. Doesn't tell anyone he's back in town. Shame on him. Dude, that was a whole story within itself. I did make my way back in town very slowly. But anyway. All right. Now me and Dad put our points out there. We have agreed to disagree, or at least I have. I feel. Tim, is John your real dad? No, he's fake. No, just kidding. Yes, he is my dad.
Okay.
We don't see our matching big heads.
All I want to say.
Yeah.
All I want to say. One last thing I want to say is, he backed off of the block, the box out, and jumped straight into the air.
That's fine.
And you can't argue.
You put your point out there, and I put my point. Because when we discussed it the first time, I said the guy could jump the other way. He could jump away from the basket. If he's reaching over the dude's back, I still would say that's an over the back call.
No, Tim.
Yeah, that's fine.
Reaching over the back implies there was contact when he reached. Reaching over the back is where you contact the guy in his back. He was 2 feet above the guy and jumped straight up in the air. Never contacted him after that.
And as I said, I said I would go as far as you could jump away from the dude if the guy's boxing you out and you reach over the guy's back.
He didn't reach over his back.
Okay, Dad, he's clearly reaching over his back. I understand you're saying he jumps up, but the guy reaching for the ball.
Okay, show me where the contact is with the back. Show me again. Reaching over the back.
So right here, he's jumping up.
We can't see it.
Oh, you can't. Oh, sorry. Okay, so he just took off, and this is just the contact. Just taking off. All right, so here's his hand.
Yep.
And he's reaching for the ball.
Yeah, but he's not touching the guy.
No, okay, that's fine. That's fine.
So he's not reaching over.
This is what I mean by reaching for the ball. He's over the guy and he's reaching for the ball over the dude. That's all I mean by this. Obviously, in question, the discussion in dispute is whether this is an over the back call. So I understand the confusion in language. My only point is that he's over the dude and he's reaching for the ball over the guy. That's my only point.
One more time, he jumps straight up in the air and reaches his arm out. He jumps straight up in the air, and he's got the guy, after he jumps up in the air, makes contact with him. Over the back is not, when you're making contact and the guy's on the ground and he puts his arm over your back. Look, you can put the poll out.
All right. The over-the-back foul refers to the use of illegal contact to gain an unfair competitive advantage over an opposing player while attempting to get a rebound from behind them. This illegal contact can include grabbing, pulling, bumping, and pushing an opponent while trying to get a rebound. It isn't an over-the-back foul, is what Bob
Thank
thinks.
you.
He touched the guy's back and got his kneecap all over his spine. What is going on here? It's over the back. Bring It 316 apparently agrees with me. So far, we've had 6 votes, and 4 of them agree with me, 2 with you so far. That's where the vote.
Well, but I have the refs that agreed with me too.
True.
So
it's fine. We just wanted to put a poll out here, and we did. All right, you get a vote on it if you get to this point, and I'll leave it up for a little bit longer. But that was the discussion we had. But anyway, it's been a great tournament.
And by the way, again, Tim almost took my mini fridge on the back porch out. The thing was rocking all over the place, and I'm like, "What are you doing?" You're like, "I'm boxing out."
I boxed the heck out of that trash can. And you know what? Thank goodness. Refrigerator. Sorry, mini fridge. Thank goodness he couldn't jump, so I didn't get called for the foul.
Well, are you telling me that the foul should have been on the refrigerator that was just sitting there?
Oh, totally. It's in my way. Get out of my butt way. No, just kidding. All right. That was fun. All right. Dad wanted to discuss that on the thing. I think it's settled. I was correct. All right. No, we're going to move on. We agree to disagree. All right.
By the way, to the channel, this is what I have to deal with. I was once
to the channel,
young and cocky.
This is what I have to disagree with. One day I will be old and ornery. No, I'm just kidding. All right, cool. Let's hop into some Washington stuff. You ready?
Yes.
Washington Commanders get 2 official offers, apparently, according to reports. There's 2 of them that officially have been submitted. And it's interesting, because now they're apparently $6 billion offers. I remember earlier in the early bids, apparently Josh Harris put a $6.3 billion bid. But now it's $6 billion, apparently. So there's the group led by Josh Harris. He's been in the mix for a while now. Magic Johnson was added to his team. He's got some other guys added to his team now. I think even RG3 might be a part of this.
So did you get this from Valuable? I saw it in the Redskins channels I'm on. I didn't see anything where I felt like that's a legitimate offer.
Well, it's on ESPN right here. Sources. 2 groups submit $6 billion offers for Commanders.
Thank you. I did not see that. I saw it on, BS channels, so I didn't know if it was legitimate or not.
Then there's the Josh Harris bid that we have already known about. All right. Then there's a Canadian billionaire apparently coming in to buy the team, potentially. Steve Apostolopoulos. Maybe?
Oh, Yuki helped you out on that.
Apostolopoulos.
That sounds Greek. That sounds Greek to me more than Canadian.
He may be originally family from Greece, but he apparently has submitted a fully funded $6 billion offer for the Commanders. Sources told Scheffner and Brian Windhorst. I'm not a fan of Scheffner anymore. He can screw anything. But anyway, Brian Windhorst said it as well. And it is apparently out there. But there also have been reports coming from the owners' meetings that this is actually fake news and the real offers are closer to $5 billion instead of $6 billion. What do you think? Do we have one of these two guys with no honors?
I did not hear. Where'd you hear that from the owners? I did not hear that at all.
It was tweeted out by Charles Gasparino, whoever that is. Apparently, I'm not exactly sure.
Apparently an expert.
He's got a blue check mark next to his name on Twitter, so take that for what it's worth. But he said, people inside the NFL owners meeting say the league is skeptical about the size of any of the offers for the Commanders. Discussed in the media, that is. A real $6 billion bid where they meet strict league rules on equity stakes, etc. It's BS, says one source. Adding the bids come with contingencies, thus the real number is in the $5 billion range. So far, unclear if or when Jeff Bezos might throw his hat in the race.
No, I think he's waiting on the wings, but I'd also like to understand assuming I'm a billionaire, which I'm not, who would I call to make a legitimate bid?
Bank of America, right? That? Probably, because they're the ones that Dan Snyder talked to represent them. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out. That just came out of the top of my head. I'm
just wondering who would I call to say, and at Bank of America, what do I just call customer service and say, hello, I want to make a bid on the Commanders team. Can you pass me
$3 and a bag of chips? Can you tell them that the offer is legitimate?
That's what I'm saying.
I really will do it. I promise.
So I just feel like this whole thing of bids, and I think this is all just a photo shoot or whatever you want to call it, where it's like, who's making bids? Who's taking the official bids? And why don't they publicize or publish the number? Hey, if you want to make a bid on the Washington Commanders, call this number right here and we'll hook you up.
Actually, it's probably not allowed to be reported, right? Like, if I go and put an offer on the house, like a house, right? Let's just say I'm buying a house. Is it cool, or is it like okay for somebody to just like, hey, we have this offer on the table?
No. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is, when you go to make an offer on that house, you know who to contact. I'm not saying the
agent.
Yeah, you know who.
Which agent to contact,
Any person in the world would know the same thing you know. So where is the information on, if you want to put a bid on, and I understand we're talking billions, so maybe they don't want the riffraff. But how do we know what's a valid offer or what's just BS?
It's all hearsay. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's a good question, but I'm still rooting for Bezos. I'm not going off that train. I'm still wanting Bezos so bad. I hope he is just playing this perfectly, and he's just waiting to find out what the real number is.
So
and
what's
he'll come up $100 billion more.
What's a deadline for offers?
They said the offers were deadlined a while ago. Remember last week, people were last time we posted, people were like, "Oh, the bids have closed, the offers have closed, blah blah blah." But then all of a sudden, it was like right after that day, the next day, they were like, "Canadian billionaire throws his hat in," and then there was this Duke guy or a guy from Duke.
I'm saying, who are we getting the information from?
I don't know.
Who's saying the bidding is closed? Who's the official?
It's a great question. I don't know, but I'm holding out hope. I don't know when it's a good question. When is the legitimate? You know what? I'm going to try to Google it real quick. Hold on.
Who is the voice of authority in these offers
for Commanders? Do I have time to start a GoFundMe and throw my hat in?
Yeah. But like I said, I heard the Magic Johnson group on the Washington Redskins channel I'm on Facebook, Hogs Nation, I heard this. I haven't heard anything from what I
You know
believe.
what?
What?
I don't think there is a deadline. I think it's probably just the Snyders are waiting for an offer they like. Is probably what it really is. I don't. There probably isn't.
Well,
like,
ultimately,
yeah,
when's the owners' meeting?
I think it just happened yesterday.
See, that'll be the key because the owners have to sign off on it.
Well, the owners are not are like kind of backed off, potentially voting them out or anything like that. So they may not. Well, they did clearly. Well, apparently it was reported they discussed it. I don't know. It's interesting of what.
Well, we're not talking about voting them out. We're talking about Snyder is selling the team, and they have to entertain offers, and the owners have to vote on the people who they would vote in. Snyder went through a grilling process. They didn't want Snyder to be an owner when he first came up, but somehow he offered enough. So again, that's exactly my point, Tim. You just said, I don't know. I don't know either, and nobody on this board knows what is the process. And, normally, like you were saying, if I bid on the house, you bid on the house, you bid to the person that's handling it. They say, oh, we got a better bid. You can come back and say, no, we got more. They're leaving it completely random or
we will see. We will see. You still holding out hope for Bezos? Is that who would you want, or do you not care?
Oh, I'd be fine with Bezos. But the other part of me thinks when the season starts next year, Dan Snyder might still be the owner.
Yeah, we still have a dollar bet, I think, right? Didn't you say it was going to be after June or something?
Yeah.
I have to go back and look at it. I think it was like $5 if it happened before March. I won, so I'm going to lose that. Then $1 if it happened in April, and I think it was after April you get $1, and if he was still the owner start of the season, you get $5. I think that was the.
That sounds about right, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
This is what is maddening for all the fans that spend thousands of dollars a year on this team, that they don't feel like we're smart enough to understand the process. What is the process? Well, people put their bids in through this period of time, and then this group takes the bids and decides, and they put it against the owners. They're not telling us nothing.
And
so we
Jairus
could have.
Agrees with you. He's frustrated too.
Yeah, we could have Bezos as the owner. We could have Snyder as the owner. We could have the Magic Johnson group. We have no idea because we don't know the process. And that's maddening to me.
I think it's just as simple as that he's just waiting for an offer. So people are going to put in offers, and he'll accept the one that he likes. There's no deadline. I don't think there is a deadline. And I don't think he wants there to be a deadline. I think he wants there to be a bidding war.
Yeah, but Tim,
there.
When do the owners meet next? You said they just met. When do they meet next? 6 months? 3 months? A year?
Yeah, well, I mean, things needed to be waited until a. But also, I would imagine there's probably some sort of like emergency vote or something, not emergency, but like you can just have a Zoom call or discussion like, hey, this is official. What do you think? Blah blah blah. Send your thought. I don't know if it necessarily has to be an official meeting, but yeah, I'm okay with it taking longer because I don't want anybody else but Bezos. I'm hoping Bezos is playing this like a fiddle, but as Dad said, we don't know. We'll see how it goes.
Well, and I'll just add one more thing.
Yep.
That we were told that whatever decision was made, they would have to get to the owners' meeting, which was coming up like now.
Yeah, it was yesterday.
Well,
yeah.
Okay. So they wrote us for the last 2 months, 3 months, that whatever decision was made, it would have to go to the owners in March. Well, the owners met, and it's not done yet.
Yeah, because he hasn't agreed to an offer. He's waiting for the offer.
Saying.
You ready to talk about Lamar?
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about him for like 30 seconds.
Well, Lamar Jackson put an official out that Lamar wants a trade. Apparently, it happened early in March that he put in a notice to the Ravens to trade him. That he did not want to play for the Ravens anymore. I guess they were not offering enough. And remember, we saw like all those teams immediately come out and say, we ain't interested, we ain't interested, we ain't interested. Well, here at the owners' meeting, Martin Mayhew, our GM, and Ron Rivera, our head coach, both were asked about this, and both of them said, we are not interested, and they said they didn't even put serious thought into considering Lamar Jackson. How do you feel about that?
No, I think it's brilliant. And look, I want to handle this subject delicately because I just read I don't even know what you call it, where this is collusion in the league because he's a black quarterback.
with no agent. That's an important piece too. That's an important piece too. They can't have these brothers with no agents signing to teams. We can't have that. Even though Jacoby Brissett, black quarterback, no agent, just signed with the Washington Commanders.
That's what I'm saying. Look, stop strumming that banjo. You look at the black quarterbacks that have gotten deals with agents, without agents, but they're selling that.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a prime example of the good old boys network that will not pay a black quarterback. And it's like, look, I feel sympathy for whatever someone's going through because of their race. I'm not a hardened guy, but stop already to say when this guy's out there that he can't get a deal because he's black. So anyway, that's all. I'm off my soapbox.
No, it's fine. No, I think he is making mistakes because that's obviously a talking point that some people are saying, but we all know what the reality is. He wants a fully guaranteed contract where he's a mobile quarterback that is has potential for injuries. I'm not going to say he's like completely injury prone, but there's a lot of times towards the end of the year he's banged up because he's running a whole lot more than the standard quarterback. And we know how important a quarterback is. Look at the Niners after they lost their final quarterback with no arm, literally no arm. They couldn't do anything. So having your number one quarterback healthy for an entire season is paramount. And unfortunately, Lamar plays a type of football that's more likely to get hurt. But yet he wants a fully, $250 million fully guaranteed? It's just not going to happen. Then on top of that, you're trading 2 first-round picks. So now you're paying a ton of cap and 2 first-round picks. But let's get more into why Martin Mayhew and Rivera both said no, especially Martin Mayhew.
By the way, just real quick, expert JK said it exactly. Deshaun got a $250 million guaranteed.
Yeah.
But Lamar can't get it.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Anyway,
but yeah, it's definitely ridiculous. 100%.
But let's move on.
So the reasons that they're not interested in Lamar, there's 2 really big reasons. And I'll get into the less fun one here first, and then we'll hop into the second. The first one is that basically if you make a big trade like that and you pay a bunch of money to a guy, you have to make decisions of letting people go and restructuring contracts. And they don't want to do that. They wanted to pay Daron Payne. They did. They want to probably extend Cameron Curl. They wanted to go sign offensive linemen, which they did. They want to potentially give the 5th-year option to Chase Young, that probably couldn't happen if you go send a ton of money to Lamar Jackson. So basically the first reason is that we don't have the cap situation and we don't want to make room in the cap situation. We don't want to borrow from the future to pay a guy now.
Oh, 100%.
The second reason, which I got into a huge argument with a dude on Facebook, one of the Redskins groups or whatever, Commanders groups, is that they believe in Sam Howell. They really believe in him. And if you listen to these last two interviews at the owners' meetings, it is clear that Sam Howell is somebody they seriously believe in. Not just like, oh, we're hoping, let's bring in Jacoby to compete and we'll see who wins out the day. No, they are going into this offseason and going into next season with Sam Howell as their guy.
Good for them.
He even compared him to Brock Purdy. I know Yuki wanted me to touch on that. He was like, hey, Ron Rivera's like, hey, you see how much success Brock Purdy had last year? We think we have a guy that's similar and has the similar talent as Brock Purdy. I hope he's better than Brock Purdy personally, but he did have a great time. What do you think? Are you surprised they believe this much in a fifth-round quarterback?
No, not at all.
Mm-hmm.
Why? I mean, the guy's got the tools.
Mm-hmm.
He might fall flat on his face, but what did it cost him to get or what did it cost us to get him?
Mm-hmm.
So how bad is it for the guy you're sitting out there where a lot of people last year were like, man, I wish they pulled out Sam earlier, but now they're saying, it's your team. You go do it. You got the tools, you got the mobility, so why would I hate it? And look, by the 8th week of next year, I may be one going, okay, what can we do to replace Sam Howell? I get it, but you have to, as a coaching staff, you can't send a guy in there saying anything other than he's the man. And if you have anything less to say than that, then he's not the man, and get rid of him.
Mm-hmm.
So, but we don't know, right?
Of course not. I mean, we have to see. It's only been one game, and somebody asked if I watched Louis T. Yeah, I was just watching his video recently of about Sam Howell, of like, don't discredit what he did against the Dallas Cowboys. A lot of people like to discredit in that the Cowboys didn't care and they played a week and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, they played their starters through the third quarter, so...
Yeah, and the game was important because if they won that, they had a chance to win the conference. Like, if San Francisco and the Eagles both lost the final week, they could have won the entire conference.
No, you're right, but if they had sat Dak Prescott and all their starters and played their second and third string, then sell me that. But they played Dak through 3 quarters, and they got their butts kicked by the Redskins. So they can say afterwards, like, well, it didn't matter to us. Then why were all the starters, including, what's the guy, number 11 on the defense?
Micah Parsons.
Yeah.
Nasty.
Was playing.
Yeah.
They were playing all their starters, so they can just take that and shove it where the sun don't shine.
Yeah, and he played really well. And yeah, people are arguing that he doesn't have good mobility because he apparently ran a slow 40-yard dash. It's like, okay, dude. All right, I completely disagree with that, but it is what it is. Lazard with the super chat, $4.99. Appreciate the super chat. Says, I wish him no harm, but I wouldn't be surprised if Lamar Jackson has a career-ending injury soon. New Howell order. I don't think he would have a. I don't. Yeah, that's Louis T's the new Howell order. That's what he.
No, I get it.
But he, Lamar Jackson, I don't think would necessarily, just to elaborate. It doesn't even need to be career ending, but career changing in the sense of his mobility is not nearly what it once was.
But he's already gone through that, right? We've already dealt with that.
I mean, I don't know if he's necessarily lost a step yet or anything, because I just think of a guy like Todd Gurley. He was a running back, not a quarterback. But when Todd Gurley, for the first 3 years, was an unbelievable talent at the running back. Just the speed, the power, the acceleration through the hole. Like, you watch that dude play, and it was like, oh my goodness. It's clear to anybody who's watching it that this guy is on another level talent. Then he had a massive knee injury, lost that step or half a step, and then became a regular starting running back, like caliber.
Journeyman.
Yeah, where it's like, exactly. Then he started moving teams, exactly. But it was just incredible, the drop-off. And if Lamar Jackson has that, yes, Lamar Jackson can throw the football. I'm not even trying to hate on his ability to throw. Except for the fact if you compare him to a Pat Mahomes or a Joe Burrow, I think you're nuts. He's nowhere near there. But what we all know, what makes Lamar Jackson is his legs.
Yep.
That's what makes him special. And he is special. And Ron Rivera and Martin Mayhew said as much. They're not knocking him. We're just going a different direction. And I'm very happy about it.
Let me just add one thing.
Mm-hmm.
I watched Patrick Mahomes through the playoffs last year where his ankle wasn't good. And they were like, well, we think he might be out.
It's fair enough. Sorry, Jared's correct me. Apparently it was arthritis, not a big knee injury. I'm sorry. Okay, it was arthritis in his knees, and that's when it started to really take him out. But anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I get that. But watch Patrick Mahomes last year when the one game against it was pre-Super Bowl, or maybe it was a Super Bowl, where his ankle got wrenched up. And I think I remember texting you going, oh, so they're going to get lucky because he's out. It was in the first half. He came out in the second half.
It was the AFC Championship game against the Bengals. Yeah.
Yes.
Or actually, was that against... Or was that the week before against Jackson? No, it was against Jacksonville. That's what it was. And then he played the next two games with the hurt ankle. But Jacksonville, I think, was the one that he tore it up. Or really made a...
But I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes came back in, and it was like he went to the coaches and said, I can play, and he played, and he ended up winning it all. And I don't see Lamar Jackson ever doing that.
Yeah, when he didn't show up to that playoff game,
right?
I think he doesn't realize how much money he lost by not showing up. If he just showed up to that game, I understand you didn't want to risk all the money, and playing through that injury may not have been the best decision, and so you don't play because you don't want to risk it. But to not show up, not to be there for your team, is actually, it's ridiculous in that moment. Especially when you have a young guy in Tyler Huntley that could really use you on the sideline. Use your leadership, use your knowledge, use your understanding. He plays a similar game to you. He's not as explosive, but he can move, he can get out of the pocket, make throws on the run. He can play a similar game. Having you in his ear could have gone a long way. And I think that lost him as much money as anything else.
Yep. And I have to ask you, do you think if Patrick Mahomes pulled Lamar Jackson and didn't play, do they make it to the Super Bowl?
Of course not. Not even close. No, definitely not. With Chad Henne does not beat Joe Burrow. No shot.
And granted, maybe Mahomes already had his money in the bank, so maybe it's not a fair comparison. But I just like the heart, and I don't see Lamar having heart.
Sancheesy with the super chat. Fortnite, I appreciate you with the super chat. Says signing Lamar to that fully guaranteed contract will give the same results as when we signed Albert Hainsworth.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah. Yep. I disagree with him actually being Hainsworth, but I don't think he's going to turn into a fat slob that doesn't do anything.
No, I just like it.
Has
just
kidney
really
failure. But I do understand the point of because if he gets hurt a few times and he doesn't play, he may as well be a Albert Hainsworth in that sense. So I do agree with you there, Sancheesi. Yeah, I do
That
think
just
it's a bad
sounded. That
stay.
was such a good comment. I just thought it sounded good.
Adroit, what up, dog? Haven't talked to you in a while. I remember doing that show with you over on, I think it was the NFL or the Blitz Predicts show. I think you were on. So appreciate you stopping by. Why would Lamar Jackson risk his body for a franchise that doesn't even want to put weapons around him? I disagree with this point because they drafted 2 first-round receivers in his time as quarterback. Yeah, you could say that they failed on those picks, but it was not for a lack of trying.
Right.
Spending 2 firsts. Green Bay hasn't spent a first-round pick since Aaron Rodgers has been the quarterback. So probably before then. It's been probably 20-plus years since they spent a first on a wide receiver. The Ravens did it twice with Hollywood Brown and Rashad Bateman. I don't think it was a lack of trying that they weren't trying to put weapons around him. And they really wanted to give Lamar Jackson the best opportunity. Just it didn't work out.
Yeah, it's not for lack of trying. I agree with you. They took a shot. They missed.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately for them, and thank goodness, I'm glad we agree on this too. I'm glad that Ron and Martin are making a level-headed decision to not make a play for Lamar Jackson. I'm very happy with that. You guys know how I feel about them overall. I'm not the biggest Martin Mayhew fan, not the biggest Ron Rivera fan, but this was a very good move by them, and I think it's a fair one.
Bodhisattva's got it right. Don't want him anywhere near my team.
Me either. Does have weapons. J.K. Dobbins, Mark Andrews, Hollywood Brown. A good line. They just suck at drafting receivers. Yep. Hollywood obviously is not there anymore. But yeah, Bateman's a stud. Duvernay's solid. Problem is Greg Roman. That's true too. Greg Roman was terrible in my opinion. And some people will.
In the words of Doc Walker,
yeah,
terrible.
Wait, is that Doc Walker or Charles Barkley?
Oh, you're right. They both say it.
Yeah, that's just terrible. Terrible. Yeah, because Doc Walker's the one you always quote that says "step on their neck." That's your favorite quote by him. But anyway, I'm glad we didn't make that decision, and let's move on to it. So there was a couple other things that we do want to talk about that Martin Mayhew and Ron Rivera has talked about recently. Well, I'm going to start with this one, actually. There's apparently rumors that we could be trading Dyami Brown. I am not a fan of this move. Dyami Brown is a receiver that we drafted 2 years ago in the 3rd round out of UNC. He's about 6 foot 200, can run a 4.4. He's not the most exciting receiver that we've ever had. But what makes me really disappointed if we actually made this move, especially if we traded him for not very much. Like if a team wants to go nuts and give us a second.
Well, that's the point right there.
Yeah.
What you could say they're considering trading him for what?
Yeah. But if we just give him away for a 4th or something or a 5th just because, I would be pretty disappointed. And I don't really want to trade him at all for, if not any other reason, he was Sam Howell's guy in college. When Sam Howell first got drafted to Washington, the first guy he called was Dyami Brown.
No,
and they're so excited to play with each other. Like, these guys are very close. You're about to have a dude that's coming into his first season as the QB number 1. And I think Dyami is a great 4th receiver on this roster. I wouldn't want to trade him. What do you think about that? What would you be saying about this?
No, I want to know what rumor raids or
trade rumors. What does that mean?
Yeah. What'd you hear? What's the trade?
Well, there hasn't been any talk about what the compensation would be. It was just that he was on the block, kind of thing. Like they just kind of threw him out there, and maybe it was not even necessarily we're literally just trading him, but maybe we're trying to make a move, and he's maybe a part of a deal. You know, maybe that's kind of a different angle. None of this was really detailed out in the rumors. It was just kind of going around the community that this could be a potential. And maybe it's all
so
fake.
I can't have an opinion on it when I don't know.
No, the idea is, what would you like? Would you be interested in trading Dyami Brown? Like, do you think this would be a good move or not? Not that it's like not even. Obviously, it's all theoretical right now. We don't even know if the rumors are true. Probably not. But if they were, where's your line of what would you be comfortable sending our fourth best receiver? So he's not even technically a starter right now. He's a rotational dude. I don't think he really does much on special teams, which may be something that they don't like as far as, hey, if you're not going to be a starter, you really need to do more on special teams. Like, I don't know. It's interesting. Or maybe they have a veteran that they're interested in as far as a receiver. There's a couple of guys that we could go after, such as, a former Washington football team member, because he didn't play last year. DeAndre Carter is now on the block again. A return guy, special team, really good slot receiver. Maybe he's a guy.
Wait,
Jarvis Landry.
Who's got him on the block?
No, he's a free agent. We could sign him right now for free. So if we trade Diami and sign him, we kind of replace with a good receiver.
No, I'm saying who he's coming from. I didn't.
Oh, he was on the Chargers last year. Because he was on our team 2 years ago and then left in free agency to go to L.A. to play with the Chargers. So,
no, I think sometimes you put players out there of value where you put them on the block and say, who's offering, what do you got to offer? Right? I mean, So I don't think they really want to trade him, but they think if we had to trade somebody, this would be the guy. And what offers do we get? Maybe we get an awesome left tackle. Maybe we get a tight end or quarterbacks or safety or linebackers. So I can't.
It's all good.
No, I can't comment on rumor talks. What are the rumors? Right?
Fair enough. All right. In that case, we'll go to the next thing. Martin Mayhew.
Oh, Bodhisattva just said, I want a four-string wide receiver.
He can actually catch passes. Some people, some people like Diami, some people dislike. Now, I will say this. I will finish this talk with this. If they did trade him, it's not the end of the world. There are people that we could go on free agency that would not be overly expensive that we could do to replace him. So I don't think he's irreplaceable. I don't think it's silly, blah, blah, blah. I just wouldn't do it myself because there is that connection with our new QB1. If anything else, I do think he does have talent. I don't, it's one thing if they have a connection and he sucks completely. I do think he has some talent. I just don't think we're screwed if we let him out the door.
No, basically. I think Sam's got connection with McLaren and Dawson.
He's as fast as McLaren. All right, that's my thoughts on Diami. I would love Diami if he could catch 60% or more of his passes his way. Yeah. Diami has a ton of potential. Scott Turner just didn't use Diami's value is a lot more than what people think he is. I mean, he was a third-round pick for a reason, and he does have I do like him. So, anyway, that's my thoughts there. All right. Martin Mayhew said this. This is small, but I just thought it was a little interesting. Martin Mayhew says they only send about 10 to 20 contract offers in the offseason. Like, as in, they're very selective of who they go after and get serious with. To me, when I heard this, I just thought that was small. Like, it's interesting. Like, and maybe I shouldn't feel this way, but I thought, I don't know, I would be much more active in free agency when I have obvious holes. Like, I believe...
Well, first of all...
Yeah.
Sorry. First of all, you don't mention in free agency. He's just saying the contracts we offer.
Oh, sorry. It was in context of... Because I think it was kind of like a side comment about Lamar. Because he was like, I don't want to get into Lamar specifically because I don't want to trash anybody. I think he's a very good player. But overall... We are basically, I'm summarizing, but it was basically like we only really put real consideration on actually going after about 10 to 20 guys in the offseason. So he's like, he put another example on. He's like, Javon Hargrave is a very, very talented dude that's out there on the block right now that we're not talking to. He's just not a part of our situation. I just thought that was interesting. And maybe I shouldn't be, because, I mean, if you sign 20 new dudes, that's almost half your team that you signed.
Yeah, I was going to say, out of 53, that's pretty high percentage. I would like to compare that to the rest of the league.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. Yeah, because especially when I see obvious holes, I would be going after, I feel like, more guys potentially, especially with like big names, and maybe that are not even going to be that expensive, but like somebody that could help, like, hey, let's get into this mix, but they don't. And I just thought that was an interesting comment. This is a good comment here from Jairus. Tim, I'm surprised you didn't talk about them having a battle of guard, which I say they would. I'm cool that he said it's between Sadiq Charles and Chris Paul. That's not bad. They'll be throwing a young lineman. Yes, this was something that Martin Mayhew and... Was it Martin Mayhew or Ron? I think it was Ron, actually, was asked about this with the offense, and he talked about how... Because he just randomly brought up... Not necessarily randomly, but he's the one that brought up the left guard position and how there's going to be a battle there. And somebody else had to ask him, what about Andrew Norwell? So it looks like Norwell, who's a guy that I've been crapping on for a long time, is not in the mix.
Your favorite guy, Norwell.
Yeah. And because he was like, oh yeah, he'll still be there, blah, blah, blah. But he said that the two guys fighting for the job are Sadiq Charles and Chris Paul, which I appreciate way more. And Sadiq Charles, I thought, played well when he was in the game. I don't know why he basically got benched last year in Scott Turner / John Matsko's offensive line. I didn't understand that. He was definitely better than Trey Turner and Andrew Norwell. Best guard, I think, out of everybody that played guard, even over Wes Switzer this season. So I thought that was confusing. Another thing, with Chris Paul, I thought he started the game strong. He played the final game against Dallas, but you could tell that he still needs to get in better football shape, in my opinion, because by the end of the second half and towards the end of the game, he seemed as though he was playing with higher pads, wasn't quite as tenacious and really trying to move guys out of the way. I thought he got a little bit tired, so he needs to work on conditioning, but I think he did show ability in that first half against Dallas. So I hope that is something that he really steps up and continues. He was a 7th-round pick last year who could sing, which was funny. I like Norwell more than Trey. At least it looks like he's trying. He just sucked. I'm going to miss Norwell. Oh, yeah. Hated those two. But yes, that was definitely something that's interesting. All right, the final thing... Well, there's two more things I want to discuss before we get into Weddle. Which one do you want to do first, Dad? Do you want to do the Cam Curl or the Cody Barton?
You pick. I'll have a big opinion on either one.
Useless. All right, I'll pick. All right.
Well,
so
that's why you keep me around, because it makes you look smart.
So Martin Mayhew talks about, somebody asked him about potentially extending Cameron Curl. I'm just going to say this briefly because we don't know anything yet. But based on what he said, he basically said that the offseason comes in stages. We went through free agency. Now we're getting into the draft. I think one of the first things we do after the draft, if other than maybe sign something that we didn't draft, like if we need another linebacker, if we need this or whatever, I think one of the biggest things and the first things we do is Cameron Curl gets extended beyond this season. I think that is on their to-do list. They're just making sure they're putting their ducks in a row with different contracts before they make a big commitment. But I am going to predict right now that happens in the month of May.
Oh, they've had a conversation with him in the back room. Guaranteed.
Tim, have you streamed any Defenders games? No, he has slacked. Yeah, I've been going through like a mid-channel crisis of like, where do I want to do? What do I want to do here? And I just, yeah, I'm like, I really have been debating that in my head. I think I'm getting close to making a decision, but we're kind of at an impasse here of like, which direction do I go? So a decision will be made. But the defenders are 6-0. That's really exciting. Hey, Cody Barton's in the house. This is who I wanted to talk about next. What's up, dog? Kincaid at 16, Drew Sanders in the second round. That would be interesting. Except Martin Mayhew loves this tight end room. I don't know if tight end is high on their board. A lot of mock drafts are having us potentially going after a tight end in the first or going tight end in the second. Based on what I heard, maybe it's Lion season. Maybe they don't actually care. I think they are really comfortable with John Bates and, oh my goodness, Cole Turner and Armani Rogers. I think they really like their young core of tight ends. And I think that's why they haven't signed anybody either. I think those are the three guys that will end up on the team, barring injury. And they are happy with that. I don't think they go for a tight end early in this draft, or if at all. I don't even know if they're on their board, in my opinion. But I appreciate the $1.99 super chat. And I want to talk about this. This was an interesting thing. And I think this Cody Barton signing at linebacker is going to be a very underrated signing in Washington. And he said three words that made me feel this way. And he talked about how he had a really good season. He just blossomed this past season. Before that, he was more of a special teams guy, didn't get a whole lot of play time. This was the first year that he got a lot of play time, had 136 tackles, and here's the phrase, as the green dot guy. Which means he calls the plays. He's the one that the defensive coordinator is in his ear. I think that is the biggest reason that Cody Barton is on this team over a guy like Cole Holcomb. Cole Holcomb had a great year 2 years ago. 140 tackles or 45 tackles or something like that. But the difference is remember, we had to keep John Bostic on the team.
Right.
To be the play caller of the defense. Cole Holcomb, when he was the play caller the next year, the linebacking room struggled in getting the correct position, in coverage. And we all know that Jamin Davis, when he's the guy that's calling plays as the middle linebacker, he's stuck in mud. He completely forgets how to play football because he's thinking way too much. Right? But we know Jamin Davis, when you get his mind out of the gutter and he could just use that great athleticism and get out there and make plays, he's got the ability. Cody Barton might be a massive upgrade at the linebacker position that is a very underrated signing because he has shown that he could put up big tackle numbers, make good plays. At the same time, he's calling the plays in the defense. He doesn't let the mental game affect his physical game.
No, he just plays on instincts. I like it.
Mm-hmm. That was my thoughts on that. If you guys disagree or agree, feel free. Starface with the super chat. $1.99. Appreciate the super chat. Says Kincaid is a red zone threat. Drew adds pass rush / Mike. Drew Sanders is a guy that a lot of people like. He's the kid from Arkansas, I believe. He is like Bostic then. No, I think he would be. I think he's going to be a similar caliber player to Cole Holcomb. I don't think he's going to be a super talented dude. He's not the next Ray Lewis or the Brian Urlacher or Bobby Wagner, anything like that. But I think he is more athletic than Bostic, and he can play better in coverage in zone than Bostic can. All right, he even picked off the GOAT, Tom Brady, who does not throw a lot of interceptions. So I like that play and pickup for us in Cody Barton. But it's back to Kincaid, and what I don't like about Kincaid is that Kincaid is a receiving threat, basically exclusive. He's not a two-way tight end that is an inline blocker. Travis Kelce wasn't that great when he first came out, developed better into a blocker, and a lot of people compare Kincaid to Kelce. I want somebody that can do both, and that is personally why I like Michael Mayer. If he could be, he's like your favorite dude, Dad. This is a great comment. Remember Will Compton, number 51?
Oh,
the guy
my
that would,
favorite dude.
No, remember me and you would go to the games. You were like, watch number 51. Just watch. And before the play, this guy was everywhere. Hey, you, whatever it was.
You're right.
And then he would get in position, and Dad he's just focused on 51. And like every time 51, we watched him, and every time there was a good play, he goes, I told you, watch 51.
I remember that. You're right.
Yep. Tim, isn't Barton the guy who replaced Bobby Wagner just to have Bobby Wagner replace him this year? Excuse me. Well, obviously it was the final year of the dude's contract. Now you have to pay him, and Bobby Wagner wants to come back. I see what you're saying. And he does have to develop more. He's not a finished product, but he may end up being terrible. He is a cheap guy we signed. I think he was what, $5 million a year or less or something. But that's my point. I think this could be an underrated signing, is my point. That he had a good year while calling plays over there in Seattle. But anyway, that's just how I feel about it. Just the way I feel.
Can't argue with you.
All right.
I could, but you don't listen anyway. So
I listen. I just don't
all
agree.
right. Sam Howell.
Sam the Goat Howell. Ooh!
Oh, how good is that? NFC East quarterback. Dak Prescott.
No, Dak is tall. It's got to be Hurts. It's got to be Jalen Hurts.
6'1". Okay.
Yeah, it's got to be Hurts. It is. Yeah, Dak is probably like 6'3", 6'4".
All right. Well, hey, I set the tone. We got it in 2. That's good.
Mm-hmm. All right, there you go. That was an interesting one. All right, hard mode.
Now I got to pick another position.
Who remembers Perry Riley? Yeah, I remember Perry Riley. He was next to Mason, right? Mason Foster and Perry Riley. Back in the day, yeah, I remember them. A great tight end completes this offense outside of the O-line. Yeah, I would love a great two-way tight end. But go ahead, Dad.
Jacoby Brissett.
We'll just hit the quarterback room. All right. We're on the offense. We're about 6'2", 6'3".
I'm trying to play it because the team I care about. But
yeah, no, you're fine. I like it. So we're either number 10 or number 11. This is interesting. In the AFC... So
is
we
that
are
Mahomes?
No, we have to be a receiver because quarterback is yellow. I think we're either a receiver or a running back, but most likely a receiver. I think I'm going to go with
It's not Hill. No, Hill's short.
Yeah, Hill's
not
too
even
short.
Yeah.
Hill's too short. What number is this guy that I'm thinking of? You know what? I can't remember what number he is, but he might. It's funny because this is a guy we've talked about. I'm going to go with Bateman. Bateman is not 6'1". You're fake news. Rashad Bateman is not 6'1". This is combine results. I have to look this up now. Nope, wrong one because NFL.com sucks.
What about Stephon Diggs?
That could be a good guess. I just gotta look at something. He's under 6'1"? Wow. I remember looking into him and everybody was saying he's 6'2", 6'3". So that was completely fake on the Arkansas, or did he go to Arkansas? No, he didn't go to Arkansas. Where did Rashad Bateman go again? No, like Arizona State or something?
I have no
wow.
idea.
Okay. Wow, they boosted him up at college, but when they got to the combine, they were like, just kidding. You're not even 6'1". All right, sorry. Side note. Okay. So we are in the AFC. So you wanted to go
Stephon
Diggs?
Diggs.
No, it can't be Diggs, unfortunately, because it's a young receiver. Diggs is like 27 now or something. So we're either 22 or 21. We're not in the AFC North. Jefferson's in NFC, yeah. Yeah, Tyreek is not 6'2". Rocky
All right,
McIntosh.
let's let the channel pick because I have no.
Yeah,
pick
sorry,
right
I was
now.
reading
I'm looking.
comments, but all right, I think I'm gonna go with AFC. Let's just think of somebody on the AFC West. Let's go with Jerry Judy. He's 6'1" too. All these people, mother. All right, so we are number 11. Okay, we got to think of receivers number 11 in the AFC East or the AFC South. Pittman. It's Michael Pittman. No, Pittman's old now. Like, he's older than 23. He's been in the league a few years. It can't be him. Okay. What number's Burks? Is it Treylon Burks? No, he's 16. All right, so we're in the AFC East. Okay. Garrett Wilson's not 6'2". No, we're in the AFC East, so it's the Patriots, Dolphins, Jets, and Bills.
Wait, Baltimore is not in the East? What?
No, Baltimore's in the AFC North. I think it was the guy you liked. Khalil Shakir from Boise State. This is one of the guys that you... No, it's not him. He's number 10 too. Oh, I thought he was number 11. All right, so now we're not on Buffalo.
But
who in the world is this? So could be the Garrett Wilson's not that young or not that tall, and he's not number 11. I think he's number 10 actually as well. Number 11.
Could be New England, right?
Could be New England, yeah. Who did they draft as a receiver? Oh, they drafted a receiver. Hold on.
What about Ty Montgomery?
No, Ty Montgomery's ancient.
I'm just looking at New England. Trey Nixon is going down there.
That doesn't sound familiar at all. I don't know anything about Trey Nixon.
I'm just
this
going
is a tough
through
one.
New England.
This is a tough one.
Matt Slater.
Oh wait, Bateman played for Minnesota. Yeah, Minnesota.
What about Juju?
Juju. No, Juju's too old.
He's New England.
Yeah, no, I liked it for a second, but no, Juju's like 27 now. It's got to be another. It's a young receiver somebody drafted.
Tyquan Thornton.
That's it. That's the one I could not think of for the Patriots. Boom. That's it. I knew they drafted it. I could not think of who it was. It was Tyquan Thornton. That's it. That is it. All right. I'm glad I knew it. I at least knew it as soon as you said it. I'm glad about that.
All right.
I didn't just jump on the bandwagon.
I got a list of players I go through, so I'm not the expert Tim is. So.
No, it's all good. Yeah, but the Tyquan Thornton, that's who they drafted last season, and he's number 11. Okay, fair enough. All right, cool. Well, that's another show in the books.
I have to go to my book club.
Riveting.
Well, it is.
Good deal. All right, well, I appreciate everybody in the chat. Thank you guys who sent big super chats. There will be more content coming. There will be. And I'm as I said, I've been kind of having I've put a lot of thought into things the last month or so I feel like we're coming to a head soon that things are going to happen. But, shout out Redskins Man 10. This was actually really cool. I'm glad we're going to end it on this. He shared a picture Where's that picture you shared? What's your name on the Discord again now? It's not Redskins Man 10, is it? It's not that as well. What's your Discord name? Or share the picture that you sent of the XFL tweet. Share that again. I'm trying to find it. You guys text way too much in the group chat. I love it. In the Discord. It's so hard to find anything. It's great. Yeah, send it again. I can't find it. All right, I'm scrolling up, and what is your name on here again? I don't like that people use different names. Here it is. Got it. All right, share this. Look at this, Dad. This is pretty cool. This is one of our viewers. He's been a viewer for a long time too. Like, he's been here, one of the first ones since the beginning. He is the hero we didn't know we needed. The official XFL Twitter posted a picture of him holding the bottom of the beer snake. He is now known as the beer snake guy at the DC Defenders games. That's pretty cool.
Oh, that's cool.
Good for you, dude. Good for you. I found it. All right. Shout out Redskins Man 10. All right. He's Redskins Man 11. 10 was taken to the Discord already. That's too funny. DC Sportsman with a bunch of numbers. That's who he is now. But all right, I think that's it. And we're going to get out of here. It was fun. And thank you, everybody in the chat. Any last words there, J-Dubs?
Nope. Just thanks to everybody for the comments and the input. Fun as always. Looking forward to next week.
Dude, you need to do the snake outfit. That's too funny. Get a DC Defender snake outfit. That's too funny. All right, I appreciate it. And we're going to get out of here. Thanks, Dad. And thanks, everybody else. And hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, all that good stuff. And I will see you next time. And until next time, see ya!